Hi, this is my video review of AMP Year 1. AMP or AMP stands for Accelerated Mutant Potential. This is a superhero game, but it's not conventional or traditional as compared to other superhero RPGs, because this is not a game about custom heroes. This is a game about normal people that suddenly find these incredible superpowers inside of them, and they start using them and trying to make sense on how to use them and their purpose. To me, it feels a bit like combining X-Men with Watchmen, Mystery Men, and a hint of Hunter the Reckoning. The PDF is pretty good. The PDF has some excellent illustrations. Some of them are decent, but most of them are pretty good. Their graphic style is kind of like Western comics with a hint of manga. The book has a good structure, so you easily understand how to play the game and understand the rules. And it has a virtual table of contents with a lot of subsections, so the whole thing is pretty easy to navigate. I would have liked to see more hyperlinks. They're always useful. And the book also has a lot of cool advice on how to run super heroic campaigns and adventures. It's actually a great introduction to those of you who have never played a superhero RPG before, or RPGs in general. This book shows you how to play all sorts of... it gives general advice for RPGs. And well, the story is this. A group of scientists got together to create the perfect super soldier. And they experimented on different subjects, but they had a lot of failures. But eventually they did succeed in creating a group of superhumans. However, this group of superhumans got out of control, and the scientists had to put them down. But these superhumans had children, and their children had children, and eventually the entire globe was populated with people with accelerated mutant potential, also referred to as AMPs. And so that's a lot of potential superheroes and supervillains. And well, the theme is pretty straightforward. You have this this theme or this plot of people trying to figure out what to do with their powers, but there's also a lot of intrigue and conspiracies, because there are many factions with their own agendas. So, for example, the Typhoon faction has to do with gang wars and crime syndicates. And the United Human Front, they're kind of like human supremacists. And the Changeling Underground is kind of like thinking that the AMPs are the next step in human evolution. So depending on on the way your character is affiliated to any of these organizations, you're going to have different campaigns, because some factions are going to clash with each other, and some will have to ally with one another, etc. And you can even choose not to be affiliated with any of them, and that will have an effect on your character creation process. Now, character creation here is pretty interesting. You choose your general concept, what kind of character you want to play as, but you also pick loyalties. And loyalties are very cool because they present the classical superhero dilemma, in which the superhero is trying to save, maybe he's saving a city or trying to defuse a bomb, but suddenly he gets a call that, oh, your girlfriend or boyfriend or your pet or this or that is in danger. What do you do? And the superhero has to make a check to see if he can resist the urge to go and save his object of loyalty instead of handling the task at hand. And this is going to present a lot of interesting dilemmas in adventures, when the hero has to choose the object of his loyalty, or maybe some other thing that has to do with the greater good. Well, and depending on the faction your character is affiliated to, you're going to get different bonuses in your character creation. You're going to get maybe different resources or modifiers to your skill checks. And skills in this game, they're actually handled in a pretty streamlined way. You can choose a lot of different things. Maybe your character is a pretty good mechanic, or is great with computers, or knows some type of martial arts. You choose whatever you want. But in skill checks, this applies in a very easy and intuitive way. And let me talk about the main system of this game, because this point really helps prove how a game can be complex and simple at the same time. In this game, you only need a 20-sided die to make the checks. You just roll the die, and you add some modifiers based on your gear and some other circumstances. But you also add your skills, and this is not just one skill, your skills, because this game uses a skill combo system. Maybe you want to fix a computer and you have two types of technical skills, and you add them together, and the game master will probably accept your proposal of using this pair of skills to succeed in the check, because there are a lot of creative ways. Maybe you want to tap into a security system. Oh, but I have this hacking ability, and and my character is also an expert in fixing this or that device, and he's going to add both skills, and he'll get try to hit a target number or difficulty. And if your character only has one skill that applies to a specific check, for example, if your character is like a brawler and just wants to throw a punch, he's going to just need to add his fighting ability once and then half of it. So if you have a fighting ability of 6, you're going to add 6 plus 3, and that's a total of 9, and that's your bonus to make the check. And once the check happens, everything happens in a very automatic way. For example, if you're fighting and you're dealing damage in combat, the damage is automatic based on the weapon you are using or the attack you are making. And there are also bonuses, boosts. If you roll a bit higher than the target difficulty number, you're going to get a beneficial effect. And there are also fumbles and criticals, so you also should take that into consideration. And of course there are powers, there are superpowers in this game. There are three. Your character can take 3 strains from the different strains of superpowers, and these are all very different. Some of them are a little similar, but they are different. And even if your character, you have 2 characters who choose the same strain of powers, each one can specialize on a different thing. So for example, the blaster power, and this allows you to shoot powerful energy beams and all sorts of effects having to do with energy or stealing energy from others, in this case called juice. Juice is what powers your abilities and powers in this game. And so you're going to become sort of like an energetic vampire, or maybe you're going to shoot bolts and create constructs out of energy. Or maybe you will choose both powers that have to do with regeneration, invulnerability, and acceleration. Elemental powers let you manipulate air, water, fire, etc. Feral powers allow you to transform into a sort of like a chimera with claws and wings, all sorts of animal parts. Mindbender powers is all about controlling others, controlling their minds through illusions and maybe sending out telepathic messages. Psych powers are about astral projection, mediumship, visions. Shaper powers are about transmutation, about taking a sort of like a substance or material and turning it into something completely different. And it also has to do with healing and communicating with machines. You also get shifter powers, so your character will be able to stretch like in the Fantastic Four, or maybe make copies of yourself and or change your size. And traveler powers have to do with teleportation, portals, telekinesis, etc. So you have a lot of interesting strains to choose from. As I told you, you can take up to 3 strains, and you can create a lot of crazy superheroes with 3 different powers. Maybe your character stretches but also shoots bolts of energy, and each strain has like sort of skill tree, so to speak, so you can specialize in different areas of the special powers. And as I was saying, the system is pretty streamlined because you just need to roll a d20 and add some modifiers. And in combat, combat feels pretty action-packed because you have reactions. If you get attacked, you just don't stand there and take the hit. You can choose to dodge or to block. But of course, the more actions you take, you're going to get penalties to your future maneuvers in a specific combat round. You also get a lot of modifiers like attacking from cover, or maybe you want to tag team or attack in combination with another character. But all of these have different penalties and effects, but it gives a lot of depth to it, to the whole battle system. And because of that, because if you roll a d20, you suddenly, oh, I succeeded. The damage is automatic, and you score your damage. And according to the type of attack you make, you may deal more damage with a specific type of object. So for example, if you're attacking with a katana, you're going to deal a lot more damage than if you're simply throwing a a fist without superpowers applied, of course. And you get an abstract system of wealth. So for those of you who hate counting dollars or gold pieces, this system of wealth is going to be almost like a godsend. You also get cool rules for vehicles, strength tests. There's a lot, anything you can think of, any type of situation you think will come up in a superhero themed adventure or campaign, and the rules have you covered. And well, as I told you, the book has a lot of good advice on storytelling, on inspiring yourself, on what comics or movies to watch, and how to establish a specific theme or mood. Some parts of this book remind me a bit of the older White Wolf books of the World of Darkness, but it has its own feeling. And of course, the book comes with an excellent bestiary in case you need like a wild animal or a government agent to attack your characters, and you're going to get it right here. This is a complete game. Everything you need to play is in this book. And so, let me tell you what I think about this game. I think this is a pretty good game, but you need to know what exactly this game is. If you're looking for a custom, as I told you, a custom hero game with a very specific feeling, this may not be the game for you. But if you're looking for a very cool game that integrates superpowers and streamlined mechanics and a cool theme with a lot of room for conspiracies and intrigue, you're going to love this game. I think some of the powers could have been grouped together. For example, there are a lot of psychic powers that could have been grouped together in a single, I don't know, psychic powers, and they just they created three different variations of it. Maybe they had their reasons, but I think they could have been integrated into a single discipline or strain. But overall, this is a good superhero game, and I highly recommend it, especially if you like things that are fantastical, but at the same time you think, oh, it could happen, because it's over the top, but not to the point that it's unrealistic or just too cheesy. Well, I hope this review will help you choose if it is the game for you or not. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. See you later.